Creative Magic Club. Hi everyone, welcome. I am very excited to introduce my guest today. We have with us Toni Keniston, who is a freelance astrologer and artist who helps clients get creative projects off the ground, anything from card decks to new business ideas, using a combination of astrology, human design, and psychic mediumship. Hi Toni, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Sarah. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm so excited for this conversation. We're going to dive into some astrology. We're going to dive into like money and career and some specific parts of the chart, which I'm really obsessed with. And I can't wait to hear Toni's wisdom and expertise. And she's going to introduce us to some new things that are not so commonly known as well. So before we dive into that, tell us, Toni, like what's your story? How did you get to doing the work that you do today?
Oh my gosh, I feel like that story will take us so long. So I'm going to give you spark notes for sure. Let's see. Yeah, I did not take a traditional path, and that is all written in my stars. And it's something I so wish I would have known when I was at the start of like my 20s, really, because I think there's so much hiding in there that showed me where this was all going to go. But I definitely didn't take a traditional path. I waited tables and was a bartender up until about my mid 20s. After that, I worked just as an admin, and it wasn't until my Saturn return, the month of my Saturn return, actually, that I realized that I wanted to start my own business. And that was about 5 years ago now. And so I kind of call myself a side hustle sorceress. I am a homeschooler. I homeschool my two beautiful children. I work from home, but I really need work to fit into my life and to fit into my neurological disabilities and what I'm energetically capable of. So I started my own businesses, and I did that in photography up through COVID. And then after that, in 2021, these last few years, I've been doing it in my more mystical, magical, chaotic, creative ways, which never really has a very definable energy, but it's so fun. And so, yeah, the last few years I've been doing that. I've made over 6 figures just getting to really follow my passions and not having it be really definable and using all of these magical ways of aligning my money with me. So I can't wait. It's one of my favorite things to talk about. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
I love that. That's funny. I started my business in amidst my Saturn return as well. So that's funny that you mentioned that.
I believe, what did I see? Taurus, North Node. Oh, I thought I saw something else, and I was like, I saw a different part of your chart when I was just peeking real quick, and I was like, oh, I see it.
And also props to you in running your business and homeschooling your kids at the same time. Like that's really epic. And I would love to hear more about that. Maybe we'll have to have you back on to like dive more into that, because I'm sure that would be an interesting conversation. Okay, I want to hear a little bit more about your story specifically as it relates to like money and astrology. Like how did looking at your chart, help you to make those decisions that were more in alignment for you in the way that you're making money?
I think too, when we look at astrology, it's the reason why we focus so much on your sun sign in like general astrology is because most people know their birthday, and you can tell where the sun is in your chart based on your birthday. However, if you want to know more about your personality and about how that energy will manifest in your life, that's where we look at all of these, not even minor placements, still very major ones, but ones that you do need your birth time usually to get an accurate representation of. When I started looking, and I realized a couple of years ago that I was like, whoa, wait, there's all these other placements. Seeing how much more complex I was than just my Libra sun, which yes, of course, I knew that I was more complex, but seeing it mapped out in a way that allows me to view it like a colander. I see what I can hold, and I can see where the energy is leaking out, and so I can't stop the leaks, right? But I can support those areas with support from other people, with accommodations. So finding those leaks in my chart or where I'm not best supported to make money helps me lean in really hard on the parts where I can make money and that are really easy for me. And then I get to outsource and find support for the ones I don't. So it's just a bigger map of knowing myself and knowing that like I have a ton of Virgo energy in my first house. Your first house rules your personality. Most people are only going to see me as my rising, but there's so much more that to find out about our personality and how even in that one little sliver of our chart. And when we move that over to your personal finance, to your shared finances, and then your career, we just explore so much more information than what's available in a small amount.
So tell us, like, what are some of the most important parts of the chart to look at when learning about the different ways that we relate to money, how we can make more of it, our strengths and our energy leaks and things like that?
Perfect. Okay, so I think that there's two different parts of money, or two different ideas of money that we can look for in a chart. We have our practical ways that like your energy can make money doing this. I can make great money being a server, bartender, teacher, counselor, because my energy supports it. And then we can look at more aligned money. And like your aligned money is going to be the one that fulfills that soul purpose as well as is making you physical money here. So we can look at both of those. I think a couple great places if we're looking at aligned money, like if you're just looking, if you want to know about how you handle money and your relationship with it, I would tell clients to go and look at their 2nd and 10th house for work and money. But don't forget to look at that 8th house too, which is shared resources, because that is, especially if you're owning a business, if you're working with other people, or if you are married or in a partnership, that also really affects money. And most people can tend to forget that 8th house. So for practical money matters there. Aligned money, I love looking at your nodes, your part of fortune and Sirius. Those are a little bit more minor luminaries. And this is going to be more energy that supports finding it. We can also talk about, of course, like the energy that would hinder you in being able to find that, which is going to be like Chiron, not embodying your Lilith. Oh, I could just talk and talk and talk. That's what those are the good spots.
So I've never heard of the part of fortune. What is it? Tell us.
Okay. A part of fortune is it's not a luminary. It's not a planet. It is a part in your chart that has been calculated. They calculate that using your sun, moon, and rising sign. And I'm not going to try to say what the calculations are because I'll be very bad at it. But what it actually shows us is worldly success. And they use that big 3 in order to pinpoint it. When I look at big 3s, when I do readings for people, I like to say that your sun is what you are wanting out of life. It's what you're trying to go and get. Your moon is what you need in order to feel like safe and stable and secure. And then your rising is how you go about getting those things. It's the energy that you put out forward. So part of fortune takes your wants, your needs, and your ability to grab them and pinpoints it into this is the point of your life where you're going to find the best chance for fortune, success, using those big parts of your personality. And so, for instance, this chart that I have up doesn't have yours, so I can peek at it. But like for mine is in Virgo, meaning that my part of fortune means that through mastery and perfection, that is really how I can find prosperity. And by using those parts of me that are already, because I have big Virgo energy, even though it's not in my big 3, by using those, it finds that. So it's a really good place to look at and to find. And I can peek at yours too, but I'll have to be quiet for a second while I look.
So it's a point on the chart and you're still looking at it from the same perspective as other placements. Like you're looking at the house and you're looking at the sign that it's in. And that's the energy that you really focus on cultivating to kind of like maximize your fortune, basically.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
And so part of fortune, not only can we see, you want to view all of the placements almost like a bowl. So the bowl can be filled with energy and we fill it with Virgo energy. And then we take that bowl and we set it in a house. And that house then is where has the best chance of manifesting. So mine is in Virgo in the 2nd house. My fortune is going to follow self-mastery and attention to detail. And it will show out in my personal finances. So as long as I can handle that, my personal finances should follow. And it has. That's why I kind of do that for my clients. I take care of the back work as creatives so that they don't have to think about it. So it works.
Amazing. I have some more exciting news that my epic new masterclass is now on sale. It is called Write Your Best-Selling Offer Pitch to Confidently Sell Your High-Ticket Coaching Offer. And in this workshop, you will craft a confident, clear 2 to 3 sentence pitch that will accurately communicate the value of your offer every time you pitch it. You will understand how to let your dream clients know exactly how your offer meets their needs and desires before they've even seen your sales page, and have a formula that you can use to confidently sell any offer at the end of a social post, a live stream, a podcast ad, or an email. And you'll feel confident getting repetitive without wandering off your most profitable message. So you grab the attention of the right buyers every time you show up and share your work. This is really the skill that allowed me to go from a nobody with a tiny audience to a 6 being a six-figure mindset coach, helping all kinds of creatives to go for their unique dreams in so many different kinds of offers, priced from $22 to $17,000. So go to withsarahmac.com under the masterclasses tab and you can get instant access to that masterclass. Before we get back to the episode, I have something exciting to tell you about. There were a couple of key things that changed everything in my life as an entrepreneur that allowed me to bring in six figures while working half as many hours and having more fun than ever before in my business. It was money mindset work around how I was doing business, combined with getting good at sharing strategic sales content online. I know you know that this is your year to start hitting your 10K month income goal and living the life of creative freedom and fulfillment you have been dreaming about. You're ready to be consistently attracting total dream soulmate clients through the creative content you're sharing on social media, and you want to be reaching more people, charging higher rates, and working much less. So I'm very excited to invite you to join me in Freedom Club, my mastermind, where you'll receive tailored high-level support to master the skills that will create your dream life and six-figure dream business starting now. With focused weekly trainings and coaching calls to find the clarity on your content that's going to make you the most money, to design a simple, fun launch strategy you'll enjoy following through on, plus daily support and feedback from me in the Voxer chat, you'll find that sweet spot in your business where you're the most confident in your work, having the most fun, and making the most money. Go to withsarahmac.com/freedom club to apply now. Now let's get back to the episode. Tell us about Sirius. That's another one that I'm not familiar with. Like, what is it? And yeah, what can we learn from it?
So Sirius is a really fun one, especially when you're in the summer in the Northern Hemisphere. It is a fixed star, meaning that it doesn't ever move from 14 or 15 degrees Cancer. And it is why we call it like the dog days of summer. Sirius is the dog in the sky, and it happens at the height of summer. It is a very happy, I will not say happy. It is not a happy one. However, it is a very powerful fixed star. So for everybody in all of humanity, it will be at 14 or 15 degrees Cancer. However, what house it's in can show us a lot of information. Sirius itself covers really, how could I say it without being like terrible? It's Jupiter and Mars energy together. We're looking at it like the favor of men in like traditional ways. So can really do like honor, prosperity, grandeur, fame. We're looking like Vikings coming home from war, like, yes, look at all that I've done. Like that's where Sirius is. It's within Cancer, which is the sign of the mother, but it shows us the favor of men in that energy. It's very interesting. So the house that it falls in is going to show you the best, or give us a little bit more information about how that can come forward in your life. Again, this is a placement I would need to look up for you specifically, but it does have, like for me, it's in my 11th house, which means that it is more likely that I'm going to be able to find like recognition for my work because it's in that house of like expansion and good luck and wishes. So
tell us more about the North Node, South Node.
Oh, so this is one of my just favorite parts to work with clients on because it has to do a lot with your soul purpose and karma. Around your Saturn return, around 29, people will experience a shift into their North Node energy, or they should experience a shift. They'll experience a calling into their North Node energy. And whether or not their previous experiences have set them up for success or like able to shift into that energy, it just depends. But your North Node rules over your soul's purpose. It's the energy you're here to learn and embody. And you can use that within your business or within how you're making money to make sure that the path towards your North Node, while it can be uncomfortable, has less resistance. Versus as you continue to sink into your South Node energy, you'll probably notice a lot more roadblocks as you get older. It's meant to protect you in your younger years and not shield you from, it's supposed to like launch you into what's coming up next. I think like trying to like carve down ourselves to match the mold instead of saying, look, I was given this crazy, awesome mold that is so much different. And so when we learn the mold and we learn all the nooks and crannies and how to paint them and how to support them so they don't fall off, I think that gives us the best chance.
Yeah, and that's something I love about astrology is, especially since I've started looking at more of my clients' charts, not just my own. It's like you'll come across one placement and it sounds kind of extreme and you're like, oh, I can definitely see that in that person. and then you'll come across another placement which is really like the counterpoint to that. So it's like, it really just helps you to see like we are everything all at once, and you really can choose which areas to lean into, and just, you know, having that awareness of it. I think it just makes it easier, like you said, to acknowledge all of the complexities and to hold all of those, and to recognize that, we can choose to lean into the things that we want to experience more of, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it. It's not that nobody, you know, someone will be like, oh, I don't have any Aries in my chart. And I'm like, oh, you do. And even if that house is empty, even if that sign is empty, I will tell you something about that Aries energy in you, and it'll hit, because we all have all of this 12 signs. We have all of the houses and all of the planets in there. So it is just in learning. It's a tool for self-discovery, and it can be used for predictive astrology and for mapping your way forward. But I would say for anyone getting started, anyone who wants to learn it, especially as it pertains to money, just learn your birth chart right now, and just learn as much about those major placements and house systems. Get readings with either local astrologers, online astrologers, but it really helps to know yourself. And when you know yourself, then the entire game changes.
And do you have any stories around, like, was there a particular part of your chart that you discovered that, you know, really led to like a drastically different decision-making process in your business and the way that you were working?
Yeah, I'm in it right now, actually. So Jupiter just entered into Taurus. It will be here for the next year. Jupiter has to do with good luck, fortune, indulgence. You have to be careful, because I have an ability to overwork because it's in my 10th house. But so for me, this year is a really big risk-taking year. And I am so excited. I'm making some bigger changes. I planned my projects, and specifically a project I'm excited about to launch later this year, based on when my Jupiter will return. So like, I use it especially for work. I would say more work than anywhere else, but this year, because I have such an abundance of good luck in my 10th house for work, I will be using it. And it's worked like crazy well. So I've like been launching offers and selling. I'm done for the summer already. So yeah, it works if you can plan for it.
Amazing. Congrats.
I was excited.
So, for anyone who is interested and curious and wants to know more about your work and get in touch, what are you up to, and where can people find you?
So a couple times a year, I open up my books to do readings, usually between bigger projects. Right now I'm working with people to get their creative projects off the ground, but I do all of the magic, and usually my offers switch with clients and how I most want to work with them. I have readings available for the rest of kind of summerish, a couple more weeks probably. And then I'm also helping people create tarot decks. I'll have my own, or I create tarot and oracle decks as my work. And I have a new one coming out later this year that actually will help people learn astrology. It'll have a card for each different placement for Aries sun, Taurus sun, Gemini sun, and then all of the different planets. So you can really use the cards to create a 3D map of your chart and then understand it like in real time. I'm so excited. It has a bunch of really wonderful feedback from people who've looked at it early. So yeah. You can follow and hang out with me. I'm at ToniKeniston.com. And I'd love to hang out with everybody.
What an awesome idea for a deck. I love that. I'll definitely keep my eyes peeled for that. Well, thank you so much for my mini astrology reading and for sharing all of your wisdom with us today. And thank you everybody for watching and listening. Please share this with somebody who you know would love it, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
For more inspirational content, head over to my website withsarahmac.com, and please support the show by liking, commenting, and subscribing.